Hey, sorry, I'm back. Okay, part two. I should have done this in two parts because I knew it was going to take more than my 15 minutes allowed on YouTube. So here I am, real quick, going to finish up with the fourth lesson and also talk real quick about some of the standards that I really focused on for this lesson and some of the assessment pieces that I would be using to kind of assess some of the standards along the way. So the last lesson is about focusing in on World War II. And so some of the kids probably have some background on World War II. Some probably have more than others. But really, World War II isn't really taught in high school thoroughly until about the 10th, even the 11th grade year, depending on the sequence the kids take here at our school. So this might be something where you really have to support them with some nonfiction pieces along the way to help them understand the time period, because one of the the pieces that was really big in this book is the fact that Hitler banned a lot of different cultural things. And one of the things that he banned, of course, was books, and how Liesel loves books and craves books and is taking books along the way, and how her relationship with her foster father really developed because he taught her how to read, and how she interacts with the mayor's wife who has a library, and and the mayor's wife's story. And there's just, like I said, so much this book, so many different places you could go with this particular book. And one thing I've picked out is to show the kids a video clip of Swing Kids. So Swing Kids is a movie during the time of World War II where he has banned not only books, but he bans a lot of art and things like that, but he's also banned swing dancing. And this video, Swing Kids, is about characters who lived during World War II who continue to swing dance even though Hitler has banned it. So they're secretly swing dancing during this time. And so this clip helps them understand why Hitler banned all these things and what his thought process was of wanting to ban these things and all that. And it's just another source of information, and this one is a video source, so really appealing to those kids that are auditory learners. And so an opportunity to really compare kids, so not only talking about Hitler and his choice of banning books and how that connects back to our book, but also to compare the characters from the movie and trying to make connections to, okay, let's talk about this character from the movie. What does this character represent? What viewpoint are they representing? And what character from the story do they maybe connect most with? And so an opportunity to do some cross connections and synthesizing some information, because there's so many different stories and nonfiction pieces out there that talk about this particular time period. But what I loved about this book was it was talking about German citizens who did not support Hitler. Germany was not all in support of Hitler, not just people that were Jewish, but people that were German citizens that supposedly Hitler aligned with did not believe, and he ended up hurting some of those German citizens just as much as he hurt people that he was going to war against. And the despair that they lived in, and the hunger that they went through, and the lack of resources, and being bombed constantly for a war that they didn't want to fight, and a war they didn't believe in. So again, lots of different themes that you can go along with. So as I started to look at the standards and think about the standards that I covered with these lessons, of course, the standard about determining a theme and analyzing how it develops would definitely be a standard that we hit a lot on. Analyzing the complex characters of the novel would be another one we hit on. Determining means of words or phrases, constantly coming back to that vocabulary and supporting vocabulary, knowing that those struggling students usually are struggling with vocabulary more so than anything else, or a lack of background knowledge on a text. So bringing in pieces of nonfiction to help them understand this particular time period and what occurred really in history. Analyzing a particular perspective, death's perspective. How does that affect the tone of this novel as it unfolds and goes down the line? And how is the author portraying death? Because the way the author portrays death in here is often not a way that we see death portrayed in other pieces. Um, Analyzing the representation of a subject or a key scene in two different mediums. So the idea of using Swing Kids and how Swing Kids talks about kids really rebelling against Hitler's banning of swing, and talking about how the kids in this book are rebelling against Hitler, and how did youth um, feel about Hitler, and how what key role did they play during this time period. Um, Also, some writing, writing narratives. So having an opportunity to write a narrative about how they feel, and focusing on their technique of responding to a text. And so we would spend probably a lot of time using rubrics and things like that of responding in an appropriate way to text. And how do you write those? What are strong pieces of writing when it comes to responding to literature? And then also using digital tools. I like to really use digital tools. We've been studying a lot about blended learning here at our school. So thinking about blended learning and how to continue to bring those pieces in, and using those digital resources to enhance and publish some things that maybe we wouldn't be able to do as well without the digital technology. So not just using digital technology to do things that you could do on a piece of paper, but using digital technology for those character maps and that storyboard to be able to do things you wouldn't be able to do without it. Um, and then finally, some language standards on figurative language and clarifying the meaning of words, and understanding figures of speech and nuances and denotations and things like that, and taking it to that level with figurative language in the book. Um, so lots of different standards that you could use and assess through that close reading, through the graphic organizers, through the text evidence that they're choosing, through the character map that they produce, that you can see how they understand if the character's developing, and being able to share that and communicate that with their classmates at the end. The standover man producing that storyboard and seeing if they can create a theme of their own. So not just understanding theme, but being able to create theme. And then, of course, the Swing Kids video clip, doing some assessing with the conversations that they had, and are they able to make those connections between the video and the part in the book where Liesel is secretively collecting these books and continuing to read these books that are supposed to be burned and done away with. So that is my final project. Hopefully I was able to communicate it with you well enough. Again, I was just really excited to share this book. I'm kind of nerdy like that. And I hope to be able to use this in the classroom down the road and share it with other teachers too. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your summer. It's been a pleasure communicating with you guys and blogging, or not blogging, I'm sorry, responding, posting in the discussion board. So thanks for watching.